Hello and welcome to the Rings for the second game of this doubleheader between the Ringwood Hawks and the Frankston Blues. My name is Matt Hickey, and joining me up in the commentary box, at least for this first quarter, is Lady Hawks player Cassidy Mahalko. Cassidy, thanks for jumping up on the mic here with me.
Not a problem. I'm excited.
It's going to be an interesting game, and you guys just played in against a tough Frankston outfit, and it was a tough game. So your thoughts on what was in the end, a pretty big loss, sadly, for Ringwood Hawks fans.
It was, unfortunately. And, I mean, they're a great team, better than what their record would show. I mean, they played some tough teams in the first half of their season. So them to come in on our home court and beat us, it's, pretty big disappointment, obviously. We have a lot to work on. We have a big doubleheader weekend coming up next week. So just looking forward to that one, fixing a few things in practice, and just, keeping our heads up. Had a lot of good bench minutes in today, so thought they played really well.
Yeah, some of the younger players got on and played really well.
Right.
Jenna Scarrier came on and did some very good things, and
exactly.
7-3 still a very solid record. You take that at the start of the season after 10 games.
Yeah.
Now, this one, Frankston up against Ringwood. Well, Ringwood 3 and 6. They've had a tough start to the year. They're going to be without Sean Clark tonight, this afternoon, I should say, but they're over on the other side of the ball game. The Frankston Blues, it's a big out for them as well. Dan Trist, Melbourne United player, has also had stints in Europe. He will be missing. So an interesting game for both teams as they look to cover for relatively big holes. Frankston, well, they are led by Damon Bozeman, their import, 24 years of age. He averages 20.3 points per game. Excellent player. Igor Hadziemirovic, he runs the point. A former NBL development player, 17 points per game, also 7 rebounds. And Majuk, another NBL player, 11.3 points, 9.7 rebounds. He will want to have a big game against what is an undersized Ringwood lineup. Now, the Hawks started the season. How have you seen the men perform so far, Cassidy?
They've been fun to watch. A lot different. I was also here last year, so I watched them play quite a bit last year. And it's a big style change for them, I think. A little bit of that's why you said, I mean, the record hasn't been the greatest off to the start, but it's a big culture shock for them.
Yeah, definitely, with the new players in and the new division.
Right, they had Snowy out for a couple games. It's great to have him back. Just, leadership on the floor, calling the shots. So otherwise, I've been pretty impressed with how they've adjusted. So
it's been an interesting start, and they are fun to watch when they get going, of course.
Right.
Always been able to shoot. All Ringwood Hawks teams are normally knockdown shooters, but yeah, in Joey Miller, who's a slightly different import than they've had in the past, as a guy who can handle the ball and maybe give some relief to Matt Snow.
Yeah.
As Frankston win the tip and will kick things off. They go straight down low, and it's a tough finish, but good defense, Matt Fennell, one of the underrated players in the league. That was Najil Young looking to go to work as Adrian Sturt for 3. And I spoke to Ken Harrington prior to the game, and they're going to look to drag Majuk out of the key on defense as much as they can. So Adrian Sturt going to be trail and shooting that 3 a lot. Really focus on putting the ball inside. Was solid defense, but a better shot from Najil Young.
It's funny you mentioned Matt Fennell as underrated. Just compared to last year being in Big V, he was, big fish in a small pond, and it's kind of opposite for him this year. And it's just interesting to watch him still battle and still get his boards and, points on the board, just being so unassuming.
Definitely, and one of the craftiest guys inside, as we've seen Majuk taking it. He just hardly ever misses a shot around the rim. As Young, he's been a focal point of the offense and won, but Matt Fennell just somehow finds a way to get the ball up and in, as that foul is on him.
He's fun to watch for sure.
It's had he struggles from the free throw line this year, which is a little bit of a surprise, shooting around the 50% mark, but I'm sure that number will improve as it has over the past week or two. Young nails the free throw. And as a fellow lefty, I'd love seeing left-hand shooters out there. Just prettier shooters, I think, in my books.
It always looks nicer as lefties.
Here's Matt Snow.
In the key.
Tough finish. Couldn't get it to go. Kick to the wing. Wide open 3. Butter. That was Lachlan Barker. And a timeout already. 8-zip start for the Frankston Blues. Jacob Gibson, it was a good closeout, but a fantastic shot, and it never looked like missing from Lachlan Barker. So if you're coaching here, Cassidy, in this timeout, what are you telling the Ringwood Hawks players down by 8 after a minute and a half of basketball?
Telling them to wake up a little bit. I mean, can't be starting on your heels. I mean, we arguably had the exact same start, I would say. The timeout's called by Ken a little bit earlier than ours was, and we just had a battle back after that. You just got to hear from your coaches that, forget about what just happened. They hit a couple shots early. You got to put a stop to it before they get too confident.
They've got to fight back. It's very well put, and it's almost a case of putting that behind you, think it's 0-0, and now start clawing your way back and win the next couple of minutes, and momentum can shift very quickly. It's a game of runs basketball. Let's see what the Ringwood Hawks can do. But a fantastic start for Frankston.
Sturt already wiping off sweat in a minute and a half. It's impressive.
Worked it up in there. And one thing I never understood is those people in shoot-around or pre-game warm-ups who are just like coated in sweat.
There's always one. There's at least one on every team.
There is. There's always that one guy or one girl who's just covered in. I always thought maybe I'm not working hard enough in warm-ups.
Exactly my thoughts.
I'm going to be gassed by the time the game comes around as Miller just worked really well.
To the rim.
Couple of layups just not able to go. It was a good contest from Majuk. And interestingly, Damon Bozeman's hardly seen the ball as they've been dominating inside without Sean Clark in the middle.
Yep.
And Majuk, geez, there's a fair bit of him.
How about that
inside.
name? That is a superstar name if I've ever heard one.
So good they named him twice. Here's Joey Miller. Such a good facilitator. And there he is to Matt Fennell on the wing. Couldn't get it to go. And this drought continues. 10-zip to start this game. Hadzimerovic. Here's Bozeman. Wet. Count it. 13-0 start. And Ringwood are in serious, serious trouble after just 2.5 minutes of play. Jacob Gibson hasn't seen much of the ball. We know how good he is. And the defense stops, and he cannot get it to go. There is a lid on the ring down the other end for Ringwood. And that is going to be a turnover. So good enough pressure. And a chance just to slow down for Ringwood and get something on offense. The looks haven't been that bad.
They haven't at all. Just seems Frankston's come out with a little bit more energy.
Here's Adrian Sturt.
Look in.
Matt Snow wide open on the opposite wing. Will make the extra pass to Miller.
Come on, Joey.
Just short. Good rebound from Fennell, but he couldn't bring it back in, and Bozeman will come back the other way. They want to go down low. There's a mismatch. Back out to Bozeman. He nailed one just before, and he nails another one. It's 16-0. Frankston are dominating. Can they finally get a score? And it's a gimme for Adrian Sturt. And interesting job from Najil Young down on the baseline there.
Just wanted to wipe the floor a little bit for us. Thank you, sir.
So finally, Ringwood on the board, but they trail by 14. Little one-legged step back, and that was always short. Miller going to throw the ball up.
Push the ball.
Bit of an unnecessary round the back pass, but it gets there in the end. Just slowed the game and the play completely. It's maybe a foul, and I think Hadzimerovic may have just copped one where you don't really want to cop one.
Dirt off the glass. Nice.
Adrian Sturt definitely going to be the X factor tonight. He's the lone big man battling inside. 12.4 points per game, a couple of blocks a game as well. He needs to be big for Ringwood, and he has their first 4 points. So Frankston, that's a tough shot, and buried it.
Elevates.
And maybe had a thing or two to say, Lachlan Barker, after he buried that one. And as you say, the ability to get up in the air, hesitate, just hang and hit. As Snow goes to the ring.
It's got to be and one.
Nothing quite like getting a continuation like that, finishing, and just a good response now for Ringwood. And they've just stemmed the bleeding and now looking to bounce back. And we spoke about this pre-game, but if anybody has a chance to look at the fine work of Jacob Gibson's beard, you had a hand in that, I believe, Cassidy.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks great on those sides. The sides are trimmed up. It's a nice little fade.
Starting a small business on the side there along with your basketball career.
You know, the boys like to get haircuts before their games, so whatever we can do to help at the import house.
Look good, play good.
That.
As we see a couple of turnovers, and I'd love to see which way this foul's going to go.
Great defensive effort by Sturt.
And it is a charge, although Young did his best to sell it back the other way.
Yep. Got to be a bit of an actor or actress being a basketball player.
100%. Because these days, unless you fall to the ground,
Exactly.
you're not going to get a charge call.
And sometimes some of the girls we played against, I mean, once they get that fall, like down pat, it's foul every time, and there's just nothing you can do about it.
And so incredibly frustrating to play against, as I'm sure you're aware. But it's one of those things where you're looking, good defense says that you should try and stay upright, and stay in the contest, but they reward poor defense as Sturt on the trail, buries 3. So here come the Ringwood Hawks. A good response from Ken Harrington's men.
Start with a great defensive stop and then turn it around and get a 3.
And he's got 7 points early, and the floor wipers, and I don't know if you've noticed this in your games, Cassie, but the floor wiping is a serious problem at this club.
It's subpar for sure. And
I've suggested to Ken that maybe at Sundays at trainings we just get the juniors doing a floor wiping course or something.
The junior team I coached, they were wiping the floor a couple weeks back, and I was calling them by name just to get them out there quick enough. I mean,
they seem to be watching the game but forget that they're there to wipe the floor.
Right. You just got no hustle in it.
Well, we've restarted here in Bozeman. He's already nailed 2 threes, and he
3 for
nails
3.
another one. Damon Bozeman. He averages 20 points per game on the year, and now he's up to 9, 3 from deep.
If I know anything about an American import, is you do not want them to start gaining confidence. They will get on a streak and then
Is that from your point of view as well?
Yes, 100%. Then you know the heat check's coming soon, where it's a little step back. Something's coming soon, so here's the ISO for him. Oh.
Yeah, he does get it back, and he thought about the 30-footer, decided against it in the end.
Americans like to put a little flair on a lot of things, showboat.
Hey, and why not if you're playing the way that he's a
and
Sturt and one. So the game has seriously picked up a notch as Ringwood have lifted their game. And now a chance to cut it to 8. As Adrian Sturt, he's up to 9 points, and he has been fantastic so far in this one. Substitution on the floor. Tom Garrett comes in. Hadziemirovic steps out. Find me a name that flows more off the tongue than Hadziemirovic. I'll probably butcher it at some stage, but anyway. It's Adrian Sturt to the free throw line. Now, my goal at the free throw line was always to have so much confidence from my team that nobody lines up at the free throw. It never happened to me, but you know they're a good free throw shooter when there's only one or no blokes lining up for the offensive rebound.
Right.
Here's Bozeman. There's that heat check you're looking for. He couldn't nail it. Good closeout from Joey Miller. And they're just getting out on the break really well here, Ringwood.
Short pass. Thinks about it.
Definitely a foul. I thought Sturt may have let that one go as well, the way he's shooting the ball at the moment. And it's a flopping warning on Damon Bozeman. Maybe a little bit of James Harden about that action from the three-point line. So into a 2-3 zone by the looks of things here, Frankston, and we saw their women like to play in that zone.
They like to throw it in there every now and then.
And now the men doing the same thing. Sturt the turnaround jumper, and he is feeling it at the moment. Adrian Sturt up to 12 points. It's only he and Matt Snow who have hit the board for Ringwood, but they've cut the lead to 6. Bozeman now. Down low, here's Majuk. Battling with Sturt. What a matchup that is. Goes to the right-hand hook shot, and he's just too strong on the inside.
Did you say he's out of the NBL?
NBL, correct.
Majuk.
Has had time with Melbourne United and New Zealand Breakers as well, I believe. Lob pass to Adrian Sturt. Get upstairs. He's got 14 points. Timeout Frankston. And no surprise who was giving the lob.
Look out below for Sturt.
Tuck for cover. Matty Snow with the lob. Adrian Sturt with the throwdown. And what a response from Ringwood. And Frankston now, all of a sudden, 6-point ball game. And this is the leadership and the response that you were looking for out of that original timeout from Ken.
I'm guessing Ken said exactly what I had
exactly. I mean,
predicted beforehand.
We may as well get you down there and get him back up here. He must be happy with the response his team has given. And it's Adrian Sturt, 14 points, 86% from the field, 2 rebounds. He has dominated. It's only he and Matt Snow that have scored, but at the moment, that has been not a major issue as they cut the lead to 6. For Frankston, Bozeman with 9, Barker with 6, and Young, he started off well with 4, Majuk 4 and 3. It's an interesting process. Cassie, I'm interested to get your point of view on NBL1 and Siebel teams coming up against Big V teams and the filling out process. Is it difficult to scout, or because there's enough footage on YouTube and things, you can get a feel for it despite having not played the teams before?
Yeah, I mean, basketball in Australia, just the leagues and things, I mean, people have crossed over many times.
Yep.
So I know a lot of the girls on our team, they're friends with or have played against, just growing up. So it's pretty easy to get a good scout for the other teams, just knowing personnel in that way. And then, yeah, there's pretty good footage online, being the NBL1 now, a little bit more big time, all the games streamed online. It's fun to watch.
Fallon Stowe, yeah, fantastic
games.
initiative from the league to make sure that every game is streamed and give everybody access. So, especially for teams, Frankston not too far from Ringwood, but then you've got Albury, Wodonga and Bendigo next week, and good for teams like that so they don't have to travel 2 hours to go watch their team. They can sit at home and tune into the stream. As Majuk goes to the line. Wearing the Jordans as well. Cassie, what you got a shoe of preference?
I'm a Kobe fan.
Kobe fan, okay.
Yeah.
I'm a Nike man as well when it comes to the basketball shoes.
Right,
I feel like most people are.
Adidas is on the come up, honestly. A lot of colleges back in the United States, they're signing with Adidas, and the gear has really stepped up. But I think just growing up with Nike, I think I just got to stick with it.
So here's Joey Miller.
The Kobe's that Joey wears actually are the ones I wear. I wanted that color, but I got purple instead. So
don't mind the purple. Don't mind the teal, greeny blue that he's rocking out there.
Yeah, those are nice.
Down low, Young. Tough fadeaway jumper. That was a little too strong, and Matt Fennell came down with the rebound.
Good.
Of course, Ringwood last year, they all had the matching Paul Georges for a little while there.
Yeah, those are nice. They were customized, I believe, too.
Disappointed
really cool
that they're not rocking them. Bit disappointed I didn't get a pair either. That would have been nice.
I agree.
Bozeman draw the foul and one. That is a very, very tough finish.
Tough shot.
Damon Bozeman up to 11, and he and Adrian Sturt are going back and forth scoring-wise as we see a substitution now onto the floor. Joey Miller out, Jacob Gibson in, and York Guy in for his first minutes of the game. Matty Fennell steps out.
I like to see Ewing get some more minutes out there.
Yeah, he's been very good. He played last night and scored a game winner.
I saw that.
For the youth championship men, York Guy.
He's got to be feeling good today.
No doubt about that. And when he comes in with confidence, he's such a good shooter and has a really nice touch around the rim.
And like we mentioned with Sean Clark being gone, that presence of a big man inside. I mean, not tall man inside is what I could say.
He's going to have a tough time guarding Majuk down low. And he's going to try and draw out Majuk.
Jacob to ISO.
Tough finish. So Gibson yet to score. That'll change fairly quickly, you'd reckon, the way he scores the basketball. And there's a foul down the other end. Young will go to the line to shoot 2. The foul is going to be on Nathan Truman, his first personal. So 17 to 27, Frankston with the lead and a chance to push it out to 11 and potentially 12. And if you're not aware of the NBA result, it was the Toronto Raptors who took Game 6 and now booked themselves a spot in the NBA Finals. And Cassie, you were on the Bucks?
Yeah, I mean, I'm born and raised in Milwaukee, so I was really rooting for the home team. Not going to lie, halftime, I might have checked the score.
Just maybe.
In the locker room.
Yeah, we were following very closely up here, and I'm a big Giannis fan, so I wanted to see
gotta support him.
The Bucks get over the line, but as they say, another lob, Adrian Sturt come down with it, missed it. York Guy missed a gimme.
Off the rim.
If you're that tall and that long, put that thing down.
Yeah, I think you should have put back slammed that. Then you have no problem about missing.
3 in the corner. Didn't even hesitate. Tom Garrett.
I think Snowy tipped that, actually.
Just a fantastic shot from him. Clearly on and been given the green light from Coach Andrew Harms. He's going to let that thing go. So sitting in this 2-3 zone, allowing Majuk just to fill up the middle. And York Guy draws the foul, and he'll go to the line to shoot free throws. So we will see a Toronto Raptors Golden State Warriors final series, and Kawhi Leonard.
Who are you rooting for in that series? I'm
I
curious.
go for basically anybody that isn't Golden State.
Okay, I respect that. Because I, just around town, I would have guessed that, Golden State's the picture-perfect NBA team that everybody gets over here. So they just kind of follow along, bandwagoners.
I cannot stand the Golden State Warriors. Draymond Green, I respect him as a player, but
See, I respect Klay. I think Klay Thompson's amazing to watch. Just how
especially
he
off
moves
the
without the ball and
yep.
just barely dribbles the ball and gets his points. He's just a smart player.
Majuk down low, battling with Sturt. Goes to that
Good
right-hand hook
defense.
again, but good defense. And Jacob Gibson's off
Wow.
1v1 versus Garrett. Nice spin, turn around,
Nice.
and Jacob Gibson on the board with 30 seconds to go in this first quarter. And Steph Curry, I also respect him as a player, but geez, it's so frustrating because what can you do to stop that guy?
Ugh.
So Bozeman with the little handoff, and he will hold. There's about a 1 second difference between the game clock and shot clock. Step back, and again, he's shaking, he's baking to the ring for the 2 points at the basket. Sturt, got to get the shot off. He got it off. Doesn't go, but
Great.
Damon Bozeman with a nice little shake and bake ends the first quarter with a nice highlight. 19-32 Ringwood. Trail, would you believe it? It's been a fantastic start for Frankston. Leading the way was Damon Bozeman with 14 points. Now, Cassie, you hang around for the second quarter, or are you subbing out?
I think I'm subbing out with
Subbing out. Well, thank you for
Mullins.
coming up and joining us for the first quarter. Absolute pleasure. We'll be back with the second after a short break. Hello and welcome back to the rings here in Ringwood. It's the Ringwood Hawks up against the Frankston Blues, the second game of our double header. And it's Frankston who have gotten off to a great start here. 32-19 they lead after a quarter. And up here in the commentary booth, we've had a quick sub. Out goes Cassie Mahalko. In comes Megan Mullings. Megan, thanks for joining me up here.
Of course, of course.
Tough game for you guys earlier on. It was a hard-fought battle, and it was just that first quarter seemed to put you back a little bit.
Yeah, being down at 18, that was really, really tough, but it was a good game. Looking forward to seeing them again.
So we're restarting here. Ringwood with the ball, and they started off very, very slowly, but they've responded well enough. And they trail by 13. Adrian Sturt, he's been the one with 14 points so far in this game. Nathan Truman.
Great shot.
And he's one of those guys who's not going to hesitate at all to shoot the ball.
Not at all, not at all.
Here on the wing. Jump shot is not a bad look, but it was always going to be short, and that was Alistair McDonald.
That's a great rebound by Fennell over there.
And Cassie and I were talking earlier about Matt Fennell. He just finds a way to fill the stat sheet and does all those 1% of things.
Absolutely, absolutely. You need a guy like that who's not afraid to, get in there, mix it up, get rebounds, get shots off, but do all the little things.
Jacob Gibson misses. Good defense from Bozeman. And Bozeman going to go and, I think, apologise for the little two-step closeout.
Yeah, Bose is a good guy. He's a nice guy.
And a fantastic player. 14 points already in this one as we see Young step out and Majuk step in. Now, I've got a question for you because up here, it seems like you'd go very close to dunking the ball. Do you get close?
I definitely get a little bit close. Right now, it's just
Surely
backboard.
you've tried it out like a fair bit. Maybe not in games, but
You know, we're actually working on it. We've got a secret play in the mix right now. Benjamin Draper and Jay Allen, they're looking to put up a play so that we can get some dunks in. But hopefully we'll see. Hopefully I can start getting up there.
well, I will be going off up here if you throw one down.
I look forward to it.
Frankston back the other way. 13 points at the moment. They go down to Majuk. He gets up for the big two-hand flush. And Adrian Sturt with the gamble. And it did not pay off that time.
Did not. But that's a hard man to guard. Really hard man to guard.
Some serious size Majuk, and of course an NBL quality and level of player. And an absolute beast down low. Sturt doing well to battle down there. He's yet to have a substitution yet, so he's going to have to probably battle all night in there, especially with no Sean Clark. And of course Trevor Latham out injured as well.
Yep. No, that was one thing that the boys definitely were looking at is the size of Frankston and how big that they are, that they really wanted to make sure that they had somebody in there to compete. So it's going to make sense that Sturt stays in the whole time as long as he is.
Fantastic pass to Matt Fennell, but he missed it. And one of those times where if you're the person giving off the pass, you're a little bit annoyed that you don't get the assist for it because it was a pretty pass. And there's a 4-point turnaround because Frankston come back the other way and get an easy 2. So Ringwood making a real point of bringing Majuk out of the key as often as they can so he can't just plug up the middle. They eventually get it down to Sturt. The double team comes. Truman, Fennell. That hesitation may have cost him. Got to get a shot up. Snow does. It was short.
Good, Sturt, good.
And they stay with the play. Jacob Gibson for 3. Can he get going from deep? And it looks sweet out of the hand and he buried it.
Attaboy. Good job, Jacob.
I was talking to Cassidy about how good that beard looks, and I believe you guys had a part to play in maybe the lines on the beard there.
Absolutely. Jacob, he was talking to us yesterday. He's like, I got to make sure I look good for this game. It's a big game, and we were sitting outside lining it up for him, and I'm glad he looks good today.
It does. Looks very good as Majuk makes the shot, and the foul is going to be off the ball on Tom Garrett, who's been right into Matt Snow the entire way down the ground. Sorry, that's Will Pearce down the court. Snow's going to come off. Joe Miller steps on.
Snow's doing a very good job, too, of handling the ball, making sure that he protects it with his body. Even if they get a tip out, it's a tip out of bounds, and it's still our ball.
And also they run the risk of fouling because he's normally got the body between the defender and the ball.
Absolutely.
Stuff that juniors get taught, but they don't always listen to all the time. There's Miller. Tough shot. Spins and hits on the right hand. So this is Alistair McDonald here, and now Ringwood have gone into a 2-3 zone. So it's been a day of zones here at the rings. We saw in the women's game, both teams went to a 2-3 zone.
Yep.
Tough to navigate sometimes. Frustrating to navigate sometimes.
Absolutely it can be. Frankston, I think, does a good job, though, offensively through a zone, just having those shooters, those spot shooters on both men's and women's teams. It's tough to be in a zone when you know you've got shooters that are that phenomenal on the outside. Of
course, you guys had to try and control Stephanie Reed, who has gone for 50 in this competition before.
She sure has.
As we see a tough shot inside from Will Pearce. Did a relatively good job to contain her to 21 points.
That's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. She's a good player. She's a great job dribble penetrating every single time. She loves to get her feet into the key and creates really good opportunities for her teammates as well. And you see that a lot throughout the Frankston program on both sides.
So we see Jacob Gibson set to go to the line. He will shoot 2 free throws. And third quarter, I think yourself had around 3 or 4 blocks. You were hosting your own block party out there for a little while.
I was raised on the block. We had block parties every day. I just try to bring it to Australia the best that I can.
Gibson nails the first. An excellent free throw shooter, just an excellent shooter in general.
Absolutely. Attaboy.
Lucky I didn't put the Moz on him there, and he nailed the second. Commentator's curse. I do it most games. So 26-40. And this game holding around that 10 to 14 point margin. Miller with a great steal. Tough ask.
Oh.
Wouldn't finish. And the foul is called, and it's a late foul. And it's one of those ones, and you've seen it a little bit now, where the refs wait to see if the ball goes in the hoop. If it goes in the hoop, they don't call it. If it doesn't, they do call it. To me, if it's a foul, it's a foul.
Absolutely. Every single time. And it's really tough, too, because you know, you go up and you feel like, you know, you've got the body contact and you want the referees to kind of call the game the same way throughout the entire game. You don't want to have them wait to see if you make a shot. You want them to call the foul for you regardless if you make it or not, right? Because it could be an and one, and that and one could bring the energy that you need in order to get up over that hump.
And it's something that you see also a lot in the NBA of late, in the playoffs. And it'll be interesting to see. The WNBA's just kicked off recently to see if it's if follow suit and whether it's kind of a worldwide thing that we're seeing. 12-point ball game, corner shot, buried it, and so the three-pointer becoming a problem here for the Hawks as Lachlan Barker nails one in the corner and extends the lead back out to 15. He's up to 9 points, 2 of 2 from deep. Gibson, great effort on the follow, but Bozeman with the rebound. Here's Hadziumerovic, can kick to the wing. Another one. You betcha! Count them up, 1, 2, 3 from Lachlan Barker. Timeout on the floor, Ken Harrington, and just like that, it's back out to an 18-point margin.
That is tough. That is very tough to come back from, as we saw earlier with us.
So if you're coaching, if you're in Ken Harrington's shoes here, he's probably very small shoes. He's a small man, and I'm sure he'll listen back to this and hear me say it. What would you say to your team?
You know, it's tough. It's really tough. Frankston's a very good team on the men's side. You got great playmakers, people who really can drive in, you know, but they also have great touch on the outside. You know, we saw yesterday with the Frankston game, Iggy had 2 amazing three-pointers to put them not only into 1 overtime, but into 2 overtimes, you know?
Overtime.
And he plays mostly as a post player, so what do? How do you adjust when you've got post players that can knock down threes, super amounts of pressure threes? You know, it's a very, very tough lineup, and especially when you're missing people on your roster, you know, it's a different kind of feel on the game. So I think Ken's just trying to tell them, play their best game right now, play to your strengths, you know, hit shooters wide open, knock down shots, and make sure we're chasing down rebounds, and don't turn over the ball. Frankston capitalizes on turnovers, so you have to make sure you take care of it. And
Hadziumerovic has yet to score, but as you said, last night was very impressive, knocking down 2 clutch threes. Ringwood, though, should be used to defending a team that shoots probably 1 through 4 with Majuk out on the floor, because very rarely you can't really get into this men's team unless you can shoot the ball at a pretty high clip. So it's not something that they haven't faced before, but let's see how they respond. Down by 18 at the moment, but now every foul as well. They're in the bonus, so every foul, they're going to go to the line and shoot free throws. So let's see if that plays a factor in the second half of this second quarter. Wide open Nathan Truman. He was naked out there. And talk about knockdown shooters. He does not hesitate, and he is just wet from outside.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So sticking with the 3-2 zone here for Ringwood. They've just got to watch the corners. Majuk, and this is why they're into the 3-2, and it's a turnover. Here's Jacob Gibson. Great pass to Fanal, and he's so good at finishing on the inside.
His inside touch is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
It's ridiculous, the way he finishes around the hoop.
It's amazing. And when I first got here, you know, he's such a bigger body that I really thought that he was going to be more of like a brunt force type of player, you know? And on defense, he definitely is. But on offense, he's such a good finesse player.
And his ability to almost spin the ball off the backboard, and he, as somebody who's played against him before, it's an absolute nightmare. You think you've got him pinned underneath the basket. There's no way he's going to get a shot up and around, but he's behind the backboard and somehow flicks it up and in. And
oh, and that reverse layup. He loves that. Oh, my goodness.
Ridiculous. And so here's the free throws coming into effect as we saw a foul. And Matty Fanal is going to shoot them. He's had a bit of a tough time from the free throw line so far this season, shooting around the 50% mark, but it's slowly improving. Let's see what he can do from the line this time. And the first is off, so there it is. Look to give him a wrap and see what he can do. Stats suggest that he'll make the second, though. Let's see. Matty Fanal down by 13. And he wills the second one in, the friendly roll.
You know, I think it's because you said something that rolled back in. It was a good bounce.
It's the opposite of the commentator's curse. or either that or somebody on the other side of the court may have just breathed heavily and just rolled it in.
You know, that's what it looks like.
So inside the final 5 minutes of this second quarter, Majuk just goes to that right-hand hook a lot, and can't blame him. It works plenty of the time, but not on that occasion.
You know, I think the biggest thing, too, at this level, at the professional level, it's not about just, yes, Jacob.
Jacob Gibson with the and one, the foul on Majuk. It was a great find from Nathan Truman.
You know, at this level, players are going to do what they do best. You know, it's not about stopping players that are this great from doing what they do best. It's about letting them do what they do, but making it tough on them every single time. You know, you see him every single time underneath the hoop, right? Playing big, playing a great post play, but that contested shot was so difficult, he completely shot it over the rim, you know? Give him what he wants to. He's going to take what he wants, but make it so difficult that he has to find another option instead. And
it's something that the Lady Hawks have been fantastic at this season. Fantastic defensive team, and you've had to battle against teams that probably have a bit of size on you, like the Ringwood Hawks are doing at the moment.
Oh, absolutely, and it's definitely tough. You know, I'm supposed to be a center at 6'1", and I'm playing against girls that are 6'5", 6'6", and the good thing is that I've done it all of my life. Yep. You know, we also have Amanda, who's phenomenal, 6'5", you know, and she's just such a big body. She just hands straight up is blocking people without even really trying, and when she tries, oh my goodness, it's a completely different game. So, you know, it's tough when you're undersized, but you find a way to make it work for you. And that's one thing we see right now with our guys playing is like down Sean Clark. He's a phenomenal, huge, big body, really clogs up the middle. But they're doing such a good job of playing around that, even without having him in there. So.
And one thing that I'm interested to hear your opinion on, have you found it adjusting to the game here and the officiating? Because early on you had a little bit of foul trouble. I don't want to point it out, but a little bit of foul trouble. But since then, you've adjusted really well. Last week, managed to avoid foul trouble, and you dominated that game. So how's it been trying to find just the rhythm and get a feel for the game here in Australia?
Yeah, definitely. It's different. It's different. You know, I've been in Europe for the last 3 seasons, and over there, things are so much it's just slightly different, you know. Here, you know, you can't really body people as much as you'd like to. You can't really get up on people the way that you want to. You kind of have to play the game a little bit differently. But once you figure it out, it kind of just comes more naturally to you. So it's just an adjustment, but I think I'm figuring it out.
Yeah, definitely. Most
slowly
definitely.
but surely.
You've got there. Hasn't taken too long at all, and the Lady Hawks are on fire. Lost today, but have got a fantastic record, 7-3. Hadziemirovic.
Yep.
It's almost like he needs it. You knew it was coming. It's almost like he needs somebody closing out on the tougher the shot, the more likely he is to bury it. He's hardly looked for it, but geez, he's such a good shooter. Sturt probably got fouled.
Absolutely did.
And no, it came off Adrian Sturt out of bounds.
You know, and it's Iggy's, you know, strong left-handed player, and those left-handed players too, they make it so difficult to play because you're so used to people who are right-handed that you close, even the way you close out trying to block somebody on the right hand, but they're left-handed, and then it's up and 3 points in the maker. It's tough.
Bozeman was strong on that, but Damon Bozeman, as he steps out of bounds, he's on triple-double watch at the moment. 14 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. And speaking of that out-of-bounds play, I'm not sure if it's something that you've picked up on, but it's almost an epidemic where players get the ball in the corner, go to take off, step backwards to go push off, stepping out of bounds. It happens all the time.
It does. And a lot of times it's that hesitation step, right? And that's one thing that I've actually been working a lot with my girls, my juniors girls.
Joey Miller buries it too.
Great shot. Is, you know, you don't want to take steps backwards because backwards is not the way that we're trying to go. We're always trying to go towards the basket, you know, but you do see it a lot where people hesitate, people take that backward step, and you're right, that three-point line is real close to that outside, so.
I don't think there's no spot on the court that gets stepped out of bounds more than the corners at the three-point line. So 12-point ball game. Ball down to Fanal, fantastic find, and Joey Miller, such a good facilitator.
Phenomenal. And it's tough when you have a point guard like that can score so easily from so many different positions on the floor that you have to guard him. You can't help off. You help off, it's a wide open 3 in your face. You don't help, it's a wide open pass inside. He does a phenomenal job of finding people.
And that was an absolute brick from Young.
We're just building a couple houses. It's not a problem.
Yeah, no biggie. We'll get there. And it's something that Ringwood, the men, have not. As Miller, you speak about him getting his own shot, and on cue.
You have to guard him.
Megan Mullings, just fortune teller out here. I might be out of a job soon. As Joey Miller steps up and buries that shot. But it's something that the men really haven't had the luxury of having somebody who can facilitate as well as Matt Snow does off the bench or starting along with him, someone who can handle the ball. As Bozeman does his best to try and draw.
He's so dramatic, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. He's a good friend, and he's just a little dramatic sometimes. But they call it for you, so you can't stop what works for you.
He was trying to get to the free throw line for 3 bonus, but that might have been wishful thinking. As Matt Snow checks in for Nathan Truman. 7-point ball game, and tell you what, if you can get it to around 5 points at halftime, Ringwood are probably going to take that after what was a very, very slow start, 13-zip.
Ooh, that's a tough call. It's a very tough call.
So that is Joey Miller's second personal. So just keep an eye on that. He won't want to pick up the third before halftime. So Young to inbound to Bozeman. Thought he may have even just had a little look at the ring and thought about jacking it up, but he didn't. Here's Young. He's not going to shoot that mid-ranger again after the brick from last time. Gets to the ring and what he does best and finishes nicely on the right hand for 2.
It's a phenomenal spin, too. Being able to play off of people's bodies like that is crucial in a league like when you play out here in Australia.
One of your favourite moves, the spin to the up and under.
Try my best.
Matt Snow, everybody knew that he probably wanted to pass the ball to Jacob Gibson. Instead, shoots it himself. Miller had a gimme but missed it. And Adrian Sturt still yet to take a break. He's going to play 40 minutes tonight if he can stay out of foul trouble. And that was, let's see, the refs are going to discuss it.
You got one saying travel and one saying foul. Not sure where the foul was, though.
And it is a travel.
Yes.
There you go. We don't have the luxury of going to the instant replay.
But how lovely would that be?
It would be fantastic, although, geez, it takes a long time in the NBA. You get into those final 2 minutes, it's a close game. You have about 5 reviews in a row.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, that last quarter goes from 15 minutes out to 35.
Right. Ooh, yep.
It's a foul. Probably a good one. They still had one to give.
Yeah. But it's tough because, you're looking at Sturt. He's probably going to play 40 minutes this game, so you don't want your biggest man on the floor to be the one that's fouling, even especially when you're that far away from the basket,
So he's second personal as Matt Roberts steps in and Joey Miller not wanting to pick up that third. And I expect Nathan Truman to come and get Adrian Sturt and rest him for the final minute and a half. And they will do exactly that.
We're just out here predicting the future,
My talents are wasted up here, clearly. Get me on somebody's bench. So sitting in this zone, and they're going to look to get it inside, although that one was a good little fake pass to the perimeter, and Matt Roberts gets up with a big rebound, but probably the smallest guy out there on the floor, but got up big for that one.
And that's the beauty of having youth players, younger players that get in there and really mix things up like that, Someone that's smaller but has absolutely nothing to lose by getting in there, mixing it up, getting rebounds, getting assists, doing all the little things that you really need to see on a team.
So it was fantastic defense from Barker, and then they got it to the corner. Will Pierce buried the 3, and it's going to be a technical foul on Jacob Gibson. And Najil Young screaming at the face of the referee, which I didn't really understand because his team got the foul. So Jacob Gibson called for the technical, and it's going to be a free throw and possession to Lachlan Barker.
Did we see what the technical was on?
I think it was Jacob Gibson on maybe a little bit of mouthing off to the referee.
Yeah.
I think was the only thing I could understand.
And it's really tough, too, especially, you want to say something to the refs. You don't, but it's about how you come about it, You have to make sure that you say it in a way that it's not going to be, like, too off-putting or anything like that, because the last thing that you want, being down
13 points.
13 points is to have somebody shooting technical shots, and it's good that he missed one, but, technical shots are one of those things that really give a lot of energy to a team, and Frankston is so reliant on energy, positive, good energy, and they talk everywhere on the floor.
And much to the, as we see, a tough move on the inside, and it couldn't quite go. Young with the rebound. Much to everybody's disbelief, referees are human, and I guarantee that next 50-50 call probably not going to go the way of Jacob Gibson.
Exactly.
For now, didn't even look at the 3, so they're back down now by 15 points, so a turnaround. Speaking of Jacob Gibson, here he is, shoots the jumper and buried it. He is so lights out, Jacob Gibson.
He's just, and we talked about this a couple times because, all of us imports live together, and Jacob is one of the just a phenomenal guard player because he doesn't just shoot the 3, he doesn't just make layups, he does everything in between, he can post up and hit, just like he just did, and hit that wide open shot when he turns around,
And
it's
a
great defense.
Fantastic defense from Matt Roberts, and he's clapping in the face of Damon Bozeman. How's the confidence from the young fella?
And that's what you need right now. That's what you need. Having somebody young like that says, hey, you know what? You're not going to score on me. You're not going to do what you want to do. I'm going to take it from you. And you see the frustration on Bozeman's face as he's going through it, pushing his own player out of the way.
So Gibson now with 4. This would be a big shot. That's a 30-footer. Jacob Gibson buries the shot. And what a big finish to the quarter for Ringwood. Matt Roberts draws the offensive foul, and Jacob Gibson We spoke about how much of a knockdown shooter he is, and he buries it.
Absolutely phenomenal.
So a 10-point ball game here at the Rings. Megan, an absolute pleasure having you up here for the quarter. I believe you're going to head off probably for a well-deserved break after what was a tough game. Good luck next week, and I'm sure I'll be watching, as well, I have to be watching some of your action as the season goes along.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
There you have it. So half of basketball in the books. Thanks again to Megan Mullings and Cassidy Malco for jumping up here. We'll be back with the second half after a short break. Hello and welcome back to the rings for the second half of this clash between the Ringwood Hawks and the Frankston Blues. It was an absolute pleasure having the two Ringwood imports from the Lady Hawks up here with me in the first half. Cassidy Malco for the first quarter and Megan Mullings for the second. But driving home this boat, I was about to say, I don't really drive a boat, don't have a boat license at all, so just driving home the car by myself here for the second half. And it's Ringwood who trail by 10 points, and it's been Damon Bozeman with 14 points, Bark with 12, Young with 12 for the Blues as Majuk goes to work. He's got 9. Gibson with the steal. Majuk have a number of turnovers. Great pass. No, it wasn't. Just was behind Joey Miller. Gibson's got 15. Sturt's got 14 for Ringwood. Hadziemirovic. Nice little no-look to Majuk. Majuk, he put a bit of flash on that one, and Majuk finished well. The first 2 points of the second half go to Frankston. Here's Maddie Fennell for 3. Can bury that one, but that one was way off. Majuk with a strong rebound. Now goes to Bozeman. He wanted to go up and dunk that. And the foul was on Adrian Sturt. Now that's Adrian Sturt's third. And he's playing a lone hand inside the paint tonight because, or this afternoon I should say, because Sean Clark is out. And Trevor Latham is injured for the Ringwood Hawks. So Adrian Sturt got to be very careful, and he's been very good for Ringwood as well. 14 points. Now if you're looking for something to eat for dinner tonight, Sunday night, normally you can't be bothered getting in the kitchen and cooking yourself. Rarely do I cook for myself anyway, because I'm very lazy like that. So I don't mind some Uber Eats, but also head down to Original Joe's. You can get that on Menu Log. Great pizza. Italian restaurant out in Croydon, 66 Main Street, Croydon. You got your pizza, your pasta, you got your grill. You can dine in, you can take away. Fantastic. Original Joe's, and trust me, I've had my fair share of Original Joe's pizza. And I'm quite the pizza man, and it is just about the best you can get. 9725 3000 if you want to call Original Joe's, and just secure yourself a pizza tonight for dinner. Sturt misses the layup. And back the other way, here come the Blues. Majuk, and that may be a charge. No. It's got to be something, but a no call from the referee. And now they just want the floor wiped, and for once, the floor wipers are on the job. Here's Joey Miller. Hands off to Gibson. Nice little hesitation. Kicks to the corner for Nell. Missed his last 3, so hesitated this time. And the foul was on Majuk, so 2 free throws coming up for Matt Fennell. So Matty Fennell to the line, and I've mentioned a couple times already on the broadcast that he's had his struggles from the free throw line this season, and they continue here. See what he can do with the second. They trail by 16 points. The Ringwood Hawks have been fighting back since, well, the first few minutes of the first quarter. They trailed 13-0. And have been fighting back ever since then. They've done well, but haven't really been able to cut into the margin effectively. Here's Hadziemirovic. Down to Majuk. Back to Hadziemirovic. Kicks to the wing, Bozeman. The ball's zipping around, and 3 is not quite good. And for now with the rebound. And they do this so well. Their team's very well set up, Frankston. They've got shooters out on the wing. Lachlan Barker, Will Pearce, Tom Garrett. All happy to shoot the balls for now. They're letting him shoot it. And we know from seasons past that he can knock that down. Couldn't on that occasion. Great pass from Hadziemirovic to Bozeman. And Igor Hadziemirovic is feeling it at the moment. I've just about filled my quota of Hadziemirovic for the quarter. But he is on fire at the moment. Here's Joey Miller to Fennell. They just leave him open, and he goes hard to the basket. And do that at your own peril. He's a little bit cold, but if you're going to leave, Matt Fennell wide open. He will start making baskets and could make you pay back down the other end. Majuk, how long's he been inside the key for? He's still in there. Eventually rolls out. Good hands, and this is their issue at the moment, Frankston. They'd be up by a bit more as Gibson shoots the corner three. It's long. Fennell with the rebound. If it wasn't for the turnovers, as they go outside, inside, outside, Fennell for three, and he buries it. So this is the issue. You let this guy find his shot, and the Ringwood Hawks are going to come back. They trail now by just 12. Fennell up to 11 points with 5 rebounds. 6.5 left in the quarter as Young, geez, he's so aggressive going at the basket, and he's fouled there. He will shoot 2 at the free throw line. So Nathan Truman steps into the game. Adrian Sturt steps out. Young with that really high arcing left-hand shot. And they're shooting the ball relatively well from the free throw line, 9 of 12, but it's fantastic from the field, 63% at the moment. Gets the ball to Snow, so great at finding his teammates. Here's Fennell, nailed one earlier, and that one does everything but drop. Frankston seemingly happy to let Matt Fennell take as many wide open shots as he wants. He's got 11 points, but hasn't fully made them pay as of yet. Bozeman, he'll let that thing go. And got it. Oh, and he gave a little shimmy to the crowd. Little Steph Curry about that. Damon Bozeman really liking what he's bringing to the table. He's up to 21 with 4 rebounds, 5 assists. Joey Miller gets 3 back the other way. No nonsense from him, though. He's just happy to take the points, and it's 14 the margin at the moment. Bozeman feeling it at the moment. He's not going to let that thing go, is he? No. Great pass inside. Lovely ball movement from the Frankston Blues. And Majuk puts a cherry on top with the one-hand tomahawk. Corner. Gibson. 3. Got it. And this is what this Ringwood team can do. They need to get stops, and Nathan Truman screaming at them to get stops. But they can really fill it up. This game's turned up a notch. 61-74 the way of the Frankston Blues. Floater from Bozeman. He sold it once again. He's already been given a flopping warning. Let's see if they get in for a technical. I doubt they will. Miller, Fennell. And he got the foul there. It's going to be on Hadziemirovic. So this is my issue here with Bozeman. And they've given him the warning. I mean, fair enough. He's just trying to get whatever he can out there. And everyone's allowed to do that. But they've called a flopping warning on Bozeman earlier in the game. Comes down, takes contact. No foul called. Sold it, let's be honest. And nothing. So I'm not sure if maybe the ref just forgot, but we'll wait and see. Gibson with the catch, and he thought Joey Miller was going to be there, and he was at the start, but then ran back the other way. So inside 5 minutes now in the third quarter. It's a 13-point ball game. Frankston just holding Ringwood at arm's length at the moment. Here's Hadziemirovic. Great play from Gibson. It's going to be out of bounds on him, but he read that ball so well. Didn't allow the entry pass. And the floor wipers have seemingly been told to abandon the floor wiping tool and just use towels, because that thing is just about as useless as you could get. They have their 15 seconds of fame, and now Frankston will reset. They've got 15 on the shot clock. Alison McDonald into the game. Gets it back. Takes the screen. Here's Majuk. Back out to Bozeman. Back into Majuk. Right-hand hook. Couldn't get it to go. Matt Snow wanted a foul. Najil Young rode him like a cowboy out there, and he didn't get anything. Snow wide open. He just has to shoot it. He does, and buries it. Matt Snow doesn't like to shoot it, but he can shoot it. And I guarantee he's not going to be that wide open next time. And the lead's back to 12. So back and forth we go as good hands from Joey Miller. Make sure the crowd's paying attention. Ball to Majuk. McDonald. Back down to Majuk. Almost a bit of, as we see the corner shot. No hesitation, it's a deep two. Tom Garrett, a great shooter. Almost a bit of Jackie Moon stuff in there. Get it, give it back, get it, give it back. Snow took the ball well, drew the foul. Not sure quite what Najil Young's complaining about because he's almost hip and shouldered Matt Snow out of bounds. The foul will be on Young. And it'll be 2 free throws. Thought it may have been a sideline ball, but it's going to be free throws for Matt Snow. He's got 6 points and 6 assists so far tonight. He and Joey Miller 6 assists each. So the ball really zipping around for both teams. 38 assists in total so far in this one. And he nails the first. He's short on the second. Bozeman comes down with the rebound. He's up to 5 boards now, Bozeman, with 5 assists and 21 points. Here's Majuk. They'll live with him shooting a jumper, and that was always strong. Snow was well aware that Tom Garrett was trailing him. Good pass to Miller, and the alley-oop to the reverse layup. That's about as pretty as you can get. And Matt Snow, what a facilitator. This time it was Joey Miller on the end of it. Couple of alley-oop plays here for Ringwood, and they're trying to will themselves back into this contest, but Majuk, he missed. Joey Miller running the break at 100 miles an hour. Gibson trailing. He's going to shoot that. It's going to be off. And Fennell was fighting for the rebound, and he draws the foul. Great job from Matt Fennell. Severely undersized, copped an elbow to the chin. And Ringwood now with a bit of momentum, the crowd getting behind them. They trail by 11 and now have the chance with the ball to bring it back to single digits. Fennell hesitated, tried to just put it up straight away without getting blocked and missed. Bozeman, and he was fouled by Jacob Gibson, just Gibson's second. And it will not be free throws yet, so not a bad foul. Young in, Majuk out. So 2:40 left in the third, 11-point ball game. Frankston with the advantage as they have had all game. Ringwood, though, with a little bit of momentum at the moment. McDonald hasn't really been able to find his own shot. You got to get out to shooters. You got to get out to shooters. Tom Garrett, he's just automatic from deep, and Frankston just have some great guys off the bench who can knock it down at will. Matt Snow draws the player, kicks it to Jacob Gibson, and that's nothing but net. And now Ringwood back into a man with no Majuk on the floor. They're happy to play one-on-one defense. Gibson with a good block. Came out a little bit proppy though. Keep an eye on that. He's pushing through, but a little bit sore, Jacob Gibson, after that play. Here's Miller. Gives it to Gibson. Turns the corner. Great move, Jacob Gibson. Here come the Ringwood Hawks. They trail by 10 inside the final 2 minutes of the third. They've got all the momentum. Gibson up to 22. He leads all scorers on the court now. Pierce this way, that way. Young. Tough left-hand shot. It's up. It's out. And Ringwood, here they come again. Matt Snow gives it to Fennell. That would bring the house down here in Ringwood, but it's a little too strong. Just hasn't quite able to find his shot. Still got 11 points. In rhythm, McDonald. Strong. Young. Great job, Matt Snow. And it's going to be out of bounds, I think, off Young, and it is, and the crowd likes it. Matty Snow hustles hard. He's winded from that. I think they're going to get a substitution on the floor. Matt Roberts is going to come in. That hurt Matt Snow. So the last minute 6. Matt Roberts is going to check into the game, and he's going to be guarded by Will Pierce down the court. Joey Miller out there as well. So 10-point margin. A score here would be big for the Hawks. Trying to will themselves back in this game. Miller, great little up fake. Great pass to Fennell. Drew the foul. Couldn't get it to go. And he was frustrated. He wanted to make it a 3-point play, but he'll go to the free throw line. Inside a minute, and that is the 3rd personal. McDonald and Garrett both with 3, and Young also with 3. Bozeman with 2. So just keep an eye on that as we get down the stretch in this one. Big free throws. Fennell nails the first, and that's important for him. Huge free throws. And he buries the second, so the pair from Fennell came at a fantastic time. 8-point ball game inside the final minute now. Bozeman been quiet, still stuck on 21 points. Gibson up to 22 for the Ringwood Hawks. Here is Bozeman. Roberts did a great job guarding him at the end of the second quarter. Screen comes. Fennell. Spin. Bozeman. Fantastic finish. Damon Bozeman. Put him in the spin cycle and buried it. Joey Miller downhill. And they ran into each other. Terrible mistake. 1 on 3. What are they going to do? They made an absolute meal out of it. But on the follow, still no good. Can someone get a rebound? It's still Frankston ball. And we're just going to have an issue with the shot clock, I think. So we just have a little bit of a delay here. They absolutely made a meal out of that. Frankston had 3-on-1 on the smallest guy on the court, Matt Roberts, and just could not find a basket. But the Ringwood troops are a little too slow. Side ball, shot clock's going to be 11, 4.5 between the shot clock and game clock. So Ringwood, if they can gather a rebound or if Frankston score, will get the final possession of the game. And once again, the remarkable thing that we cannot wind this, just put in the number we want on the shot clock. We have to wait for it to slowly tick, 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 tick away. And there it is. 11 on the dot. What can Frankston do? McDonald being guarded. Not in the bonus yet, so Ringwood have a foul to give, but they don't really want the shot clock to reset. McDonald, the screen's going to come from Young. He just pulled off a 3. Couldn't bury it. With 5 seconds to go, Gibson flicks it off to Fennell. Great pass. And Matty Fennell finishes. Fantastic play. And Jacob Gibson puts his hands up to his eyes like he's got the binoculars. He knows exactly what he's doing out there. Great court vision. Ringwood with the momentum to finish the third quarter. 75-83 though. Frankston still have the lead. We'll be back after a break to wrap this one up. Hello and welcome back to the rings for the final quarter of action between the Ringwood Hawks and the Frankston Blues. And Well, Frankston, they've dominated this game from the outset. They got off to a 13-zip start, but Ringwood, they are coming home with a wet sail. They trailed by just 8, and they went on a great run to end that third quarter. Jacob Gibson with 22 is leading the way for the Hawks. Matt Snow and Joe Miller, they've got 8 and 7 assists respectively. Damon Bozeman, he leads all players on the court with 23 points. He's also got 5 rebounds and 6 assists. And Young, Najil Young, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, as Fennell's shot is off. Comes Hadziemirovic. He's been relatively quiet, but we know he loved playing in the clutch last night in that double overtime thriller against Hobart. Turning the corner is good deep. That's a very, very tough shot, but he gets it to roll in. Lachlan Barker has been fantastic, and it's just popped up when the team needed. Ball down to Gibson, posting up, and this is what Megan Mulling spoke about earlier in this game when she was up in the commentary box. He is that guard who can rebound, he can shoot the three, he can attack the rim, but he can also take his play down to the low block if he thinks he's got a mismatch and score, and he did exactly that on that occasion. Sold himself into trouble. Barker gets it back, almost Steph Curry style. Hesitation. He's feeling it at the moment. Lachlan Barker has come to play today. He's up to 16 points. Gibson got all 3 of those. Jacob Gibson is feeling it. No, it was a 2. It was a 2. They just corrected it. He would have liked 3, but it was a 2. Jacob Gibson up to 26 points. I think that should be now after the correction. Let's see, this take for a second for the stats to kick in, but it should be 79 to 87. There you go. Jacob Gibson, 26, leads all scorers. Barker, he's cooking at the moment. Hadziemirovic, Majuk still on the bench. Bozeman, Barker. Hesitation, step back. That's some James Harden style stuff, and that was an air ball. And Jacob Gibson, just let him know all about it. And a bit of talk between those two as they head down the floor. Interesting to see who responds. Friendly chat. Joey Miller, Truman. He'll never hesitate to shoot that 3, but it was off. Hadziemirovic pushing the ball up very well. Joey Miller now. He's hot, but he does well to evade it. Gibson hesitates, spins one way, then the other. Truman did a great job to tip the ball out. It was Tom Garrett that was chasing him, and now Snow was happy just to take a second. Let's reset. Fennell can kick to the corner. Instead goes himself, draws the foul, and 1. And boy, oh boy, do we have a game on our hands here. It's back to a 6-point ball game. And Matt Snow is dropping dimes out here tonight. He's got 9 assists. Tom Garrett with 4 personal, so keep an eye on that. Matty Fennell, he's got 17. Make that 18, and he's shooting the ball well from the free throw line now, and we're back to a 5-point ball game. Hawks with the momentum. Hadziemirovic wanted to go to Young. Battling with Matt Snow down low. They eventually get it to him. Snow will live with the jumper. Great defense. Young, though, got his own rebound, puts it in for 2. Drew 3 players. Nobody boxed him out, though. Back out to a 7-point game. 7 according to our scoreboard. And there it is updated on the stats for you at home. Miller went to spin. Somehow got it back. Then flicked it out to Truman for 3. He won't hesitate. Couldn't make it. Young, oh, that looked like a walk to me, but he got away with it. Hadziemirovic, Young, they'll live with him shooting a jumper. He shot a brick earlier on, and he hasn't looked at one since. Hadziemirovic, so tall and athletic, and he shot that one over the backboard, but he'll shoot 2 free throws. And a nice little response here from Frankston with 6:50, and finally Adrian Sturt being injected into this game, and they waited until Majuk was coming back in because they need that size. Truman takes a break, and it's going to be a timeout here to Ringwood. They trail by 7 with Igor Hadziemirovic at the line to shoot 2 free throws. A couple more of our great sponsors here at Ringwood. Bendigo Bank Ringwood now. They're back here with the community program, allowing the Ringwood Hawks players and the imports to go out to schools and join in and teach all the kids the basics of basketball, answer some questions, and I'm sure they get some funny ones as somebody who's done that there before. So Bendigo Bank Ringwood, a credit to them for getting behind what is a great, great program. Now, Ken Harrington mentioned it during the women's game. We haven't had the chance to mention it here in the men's game, but next week on Sunday, it's the Ringwood Hawks up against the Bendigo Braves. But it is a big game in support of mental health. So outside the locker room is a non-for-profit organisation. It's dedicated to sporting clubs, schools, workplaces, and it looks to help the personal welfare and the health and education across Australia in those areas. Mental health, drugs, alcohol, gambling, domestic violence, all things that outside the locker room gets involved in, and they bring awareness to these topics. Their passion, of course, is not just to educate, though, but it's also to provide safe, secure, and private welfare platforms for individuals to access 24/7 in times of need. So you can go in and donate as well. Next Sunday is the outside the locker room game, Ringwood Hawks and Bendigo. They'll be wearing, looking to raise funds, and they'll be wearing also special warm-up tops, one-offs, to mark these occasions. These will be signed and put online to purchase. You can purchase those online. So come see the game. If you can't, at least make sure you get online, read up all about it, or donate, buy a warm-up top. Let's pack out the rings next week on Sunday for mental health. A Sturt, pretty move. Shake and bake. Majuk on skates. Get that man a map. Adrian Sturt for 2. So 7-point ball game. Majuk had the mismatch on Matt Snow, got it out. Majuk over the top. There's bodies flying everywhere. The biggest man on the court resting on the foot of Jacob Gibson. That would hurt. And Adrian Sturt with the rebound. And now a chance to take a break here for the Hawks. Fennell wide open. So good at getting to the basket. The foul is called on Frankston. And Tom Garrett cannot believe that he's been pinged for that foul. But Matty Fennell is coming out. And that is 5 personal fouls for Tom Garrett. And he's doing well just to hold himself back and not pick out another one. It's going to be Young into the game. Coach Andrew Helms a little bit bemused by that foul call, but did a good job to keep his mouth closed. 86-91, chance to cut it to 4. And we are set for an exciting finish here at the Rings. So Matt Fennell at the free throw line for the bonus, and he left it short. So 5-point ball game. Damon Bozeman, 23. He's had a very quiet second half. Can he get going? Frankston may need him to if they're going to hold on. Hadziemirovic, and eventually finds its way to Bozeman. Talk about a guy who's been on. Oh, and Young went for the putback dunk, but got called for the foul on the rebound. He almost put Adrian Sturt on a poster there, but he was pinged for the foul. Lachlan Barker missed that shot, but he's been feeling it this fourth quarter. And at the moment, this ball game going the way of Ringwood as they fight back. And the foul is going to be on Lachlan Barker. And so now, next foul, we'll see Ringwood to the free throw line. So in the bonus, with 5:42 left in the game, and that is a good spot for Ringwood to be in, and a worry for Frankston. And that is just Barker's first. Young's got 4, Majuk's got 3, Hadziemirovic 3. So something to keep an eye on. Snow, Sturt, screen, Gibson. They want to post up Adrian Sturt, and they get it to him. He's going to turn around and shoot that fader, you'd think. Gets it to Fennell. He shoots the 3. Couldn't go. Bozeman. Barker was on, just went himself. Young again tried to go for a putback, got nowhere near. Sturt, lob ball, and it was a terrible pass. Could not afford to foul and didn't. That would have been him out of the game. Hadziemirovic, no, and Sturt with the rebound. So now Majuk on Fennell. So Frankston have made that change because they are happy to leave Matty Fennell to shoot the ball. He takes it versus Majuk. Oh, surely that doesn't go. It almost did. Trying to draw that foul as well. Ken Harrington knew it, made sure it got into him offense where they could flow. And Matt Snow is guarding Majuk. Great job from the vet. Here's Bozeman. Sturt cannot afford to foul. He's got 4 personals. Young went up looking for a foul. Didn't get it. Miller versus Fennell 2-on-2. Miller and Fennell, I should say. Gibson, and now Snow finally gets there. Gibson just shoots the 3. And why not? In the face of Majuk. Jacob Gibson is up to 29 points. We got a timeout on the floor. Andrew Harms has seen enough, and he is giving death glares to every ref that he can possibly see. Not much you can do about it now. 89-91 Ringwood on the march. 7-zip scoring run. Frankston's offense has just stopped. And Matt Snow doing it on both ends and playing defense on an NBL center, Majuk, and holding his own at the moment. So leading the way, all scorers, Jacob Gibson 29, Matty Fennell's up to 20, Bozeman's got 23, Barker and Young both with 16 apiece. 9 assists to Matt Snow. He has been excellent facilitating and on defense as well, as I mentioned. And the next foul from Frankston will see Ringwood sent to the free throw line, so keep an eye on that as well. Bozeman 23, 7 and 6 for Frankston. He was on triple-double watch. I don't think he's going to get there now. But still a fantastic outing for him. He's played 35 minutes. Jacob Gibson also 35 minutes. And as we get down the stretch, don't forget that this Frankston team played a double overtime thriller last night. Will fatigue come back and hurt them in this one? Inside the final 4 minutes of the game, Ringwood trailed by 2, but Frankston with the ball. Majook's been in the key for a very long time. There's got to be a foul in there, and there is. And they're going to call free throws. Fouls on Matt Snow, and he's really not pleased about it. So that game last night between Frankston and Hobart, 100-104, double overtime. Hadziumarovic played 45 minutes. Majuk played 36. Bozeman only played 31. And they had Dan Trist in that game, but he is not here today. Neither is Sean Clark. So 2 big outs in this game, 1 for either team. Majuk makes no mistake with the second. And the lead now back out to 4 after he nailed the pair of free throws. Snow and Miller drop off to Fennell, wanting to go against Majuk, and he got it to go. So looking to target Majuk, take him off the dribble, get to the basket. And the lead's back to 2. We are going down to the wire here at the rings, and the crowd is well and truly on edge. Majuk in the key for a long time. Snow battling. 3 from Hadziumarovic. Can he get going like he did last night? No. Snow with the low look to Sturt. Oh, he thought about the 3. Gibson is naked on the perimeter. They finally get it to him. Hesitates. Miller's got a mismatch. Sturt's going to be open on the wing, but Miller goes hard. He got the clear out. Gibson couldn't get it to go off the offensive rebound. Put back. Probably could have come down with it and gone back up. But knew Majuk was waiting. Inside 3 minutes now. Matt Snow guarding Majuk and doing an unbelievable job. Talk about a big mismatch. But he is fighting. The strength of Matt Snow being a real factor and out of bounds. Ken Harrington wanting it to be Ringwood ball, but yeah, probably the worst view out of everybody in the stadium. 6 seconds on the shot clock. They're going to go straight into Majuk. It was a poor pass from Hadziumarovic. 3 is deep from somebody's got to rebound the ball. And Ringwood was standing there watching. Ken Harrington cannot believe it. Here's Majuk, but a great steal, Joey Miller. Up to Fennell. Reverse layup, he missed. And that's normally a gimme for Matt Fennell. Bozeman with the shove off. The 3 is good. No shimmy this time. Ken Harrington wants a timeout. He's going to get it. And a 5-point swing from the miss reverse layup from Fennell. He cannot believe it. But down the other end, Damon Bozeman gets away with the shove and then buries a 3. Ken Harrington not pleased. That's a bit of a chuckle. Matt Snow still talking to the referee about defense. He's almost giving him a masterclass down there. 2:17 left in the game. 96-91. Frankston with the lead, but Ringwood have the ball. A big three from Damon Bozeman with not much time left out on the floor. He's up to 26 points. He has 8 rebounds and 6 assists. Jacob Gibson, 29 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks for the Hawks. Adrian Sturt's playing with 4. Young's playing with 4 as well. But the story of this game in the second half has been the defense of Matt Snow on Majuk. Now, Majuk at 210 centimetres. Matt Snow at 179. But the strength of Matt Snow is unbelievable. He has certainly been lifting a weight or two. He has been for the past couple of seasons. Got some serious strength, Matty Snow, and he's holding his own down on the low block. Here come the Ringwood Hawks. They trail by 5. Miller, pretty layup. Now that's going to count because they slap the backboard and it rattles the ring. It's a great call from the referee. It is going to count. Joey Miller with 2. No complaints from Frankston, really. They know that you're not allowed to do that. And it's back to a 3-point ball game. 1 possession. Here's Bozeman. Hit the last 3. Hesitates. Good defense, and that's going to be an offensive foul, and it is. So Damon Bozeman got into the body of Matt Snow, pushed the elbow out. It was an offensive foul. It was good defense from Snow. And Matt Snow, it isn't coming up on the score sheet, but he is doing an unbelievable job on defense in this second half. Bozeman just his second personal, so nothing to worry about there. Now, Gibson is being guarded by Bozeman. Look for them to go straight to the low block here. They're going to get a switch. Hadziemirovic moves over to him. Bit more length on Hadziemirovic. He's got about an extra inch or 2 on Bozeman. Miller, downhill. Again, this time, that block is clean. I don't know who got it. They're probably going to give it a Lachlan Barker, but Majuk was there as well. They need to get the basketball in. They do. Matt Snow kicks to Fennell. They trail by 3. Gets to the basket. So good at finishing in the paint. Matt Snow. We've got a 1-point ball game. 1:40 to go. Matty Fennell, I should say, finished in there. It's all about Matt Snow. I can't help but call out his name. It was Matt Fennell with the finish. And they wanted another fend off. Here's Barker. Wants one out versus Gibson. Nice move. The help was there. The block was clean. Sturt comes up with it. They built the wall in front of Lachlan Barker and he couldn't finish. 1-point ball game. 1:10. Ringwood down but with possession. Miller coming off the pick. This way, that way. Fennell hesitates to the basket again. Couldn't get it to go this time. Matt Fennell. He's got 24 points. He's been very, very good, but couldn't get that one. We are going down to the wire, and this crowd is right into it. Hadziemirovic pull up. Couldn't get it to go. They're going to call an offensive foul on Majuk. And I think it's going to result in free throws for Matt Snow. Matt Snow underneath the ball. Majuk coming over the top for the rebound. Lost his footing. It's going to be free throws, and the Frankston Blues ladies players having a few words to the ref, and they might get thrown out if they keep yapping away. Stephanie Reed over here cannot believe that call. Matt Snow to the free throw line, 43.5, 1 to tie. Got it. Cool, calm and collected Matt Snow. Majuk with 4 personals as well. For the lead, and Ringwood have the lead in this ball game for the first time in a very, very long time. Timeout on the floor. The Hawks, their first lead of the game, I believe. They were down 13-0 to start this ball game, and they are back. Unbelievable from the Ringwood Hawks. up by a point, 97-96. We are going down to the wire. What a comeback for Ringwood. They're on a 6-0 scoring run as well. And they've got a 97-96 lead. What do you do now if you're Frankston? Majuk has struggled down low. Just the 17 points and 12 rebounds, but he's turned the ball over a number of times, kicking the ball out. Good stats, 58% from the field, but a number of turnovers, and they've collapsed really well on him. Matt Snow being terrific on defense. Bozeman, well, he's got 26, 8, and 6. Expects him to be the one to demand the ball and look to go one out. And if the ball gets back down the other end, it's probably going to go in the hands of Jacob Gibson, although Joey Miller has been very good in this fourth quarter. What a finish we have in store for you here at the Rings. Jacob Gibson telling the Ringwood faithful to get up off your seat and let's get across the line. 97-96, Frankston trail, but they have the ball. Bozeman down to Young, turns the corner, finishes and one. Clutch play, and that will silence the crowd. Najil Young and one. He will go to the free throw line for the bonus. Chance to give them a 2-point lead. There's 31.1 left on the clock. Here's Najil Young. It somehow drops in. 2-point ball game. They're not going to have a chance to go for 2 for 1, so this is a huge shot. Here's Joey Miller downhill. Gives it to Gibson for 3 to give the lead. He got it! Jacob Gibson gives Ringwood the lead. Clutch basket. Huge play from Jacob Gibson, and Ringwood lead 199, and talk about a clutch player. Jacob Gibson, hand in his face, count them up, 1, 2, and 3. What a play from Jacob Gibson, me oh my. And this place went off. Apologies if you caught some audio issues there. This Ringwood crowd went absolutely nuts. It took them a while to get brought to life, but the Ringwood Hawks now lead 100-99, and they've got a foul to give here. So they're not in the bonus. They can push up the ball if they want. 100-99, 20.4 left on the game clock. Shot clock is dead. Frankston with a chance to win the game. Hadzi Amerivich, he has only 5 points, but he was so clutch last night. Bozeman with 26, Barker 16, Young 19, Majuk 17. So they are your options. And here we go. They went to Young last time down the floor on Matt Fennell. Will they go to Majuk on Matt Snow? Here we go. Damon Bozeman. Frankston trail by 1. The game on the line. Young, it's a similar play to last time. They're going to go the baseline screen, and Matt Snow makes the foul. So that was the foul that they had. Snow wanted the steal. It's going to be 11.5. Next foul is 2 free throws for Frankston. 11.5 on the clock. No timeout. Sturt being given the warning. Young giving himself plenty of space. Already some pushing on going on below the ball. Here's Bozeman. 9 seconds. Bozeman 1 out, V. Miller. Screen to come from Majuk. Bozeman, and there's a foul, and it's going to be 2 free throws to Damon Bozeman. And there's that foul that they had to give. Goes against them now. It's going to be bonus free throws for Damon Bozeman. 26 points so far in this one. 1 will draw it, 2 will give them the lead. All the pressure in the world. What can he dish up? Big, big shot now for Damon Bozeman. He's a 79% shooter so far on the year at the free throw stripe. 49-62, not including this outing and not including last night. So entering the round, this crowd is loud. To tie the game, got it. Clutch, class. There's 4.4 on the clock. Bozeman now to give the lead to Frankston. They played double overtime last night. We've got another close one here. Bozeman for the lead. And he buried it. Timeout on the floor, Ken Harrington. 1-point ball game. Damon Bozeman, credit to the man. Cool, calm, collected. Never looked like missing. Off the hand, it looked like maybe that second one was left a bit short, but it was nothing but net clutch from Damon Bozeman. And now Ringwood, well, they were down 13-zip. If you told them at that point that they would have one possession, 4.5 seconds left on the clock to win this ball game, I tell you what, they would have taken it. So in the stadium, the clock reads 4.5 seconds to play. Fennell has 24, Sturt 16, Gibson 32. He buried that clutch three. He's got to be the one to get the ball. $100 to 101. So Ringwood running with Snow, Gibson, Miller, Sturt, and Fennell. Frankston running with their same 5. 4.5. The game on the line. Majuk is going to guard the inbound pass, and he is long. Sturt wanting the inbound. Hadziumirovic fronting him. If they look for that lob. They switch out. Miller goes to work. Shoots the jumper for the win. No good, and Frankston have won this game in the clutch. They lost last night in double overtime, but Frankston with the defensive stop as Joey Miller's shot is short. And a big comeback from Ringwood comes up short as Frankston win this one 101 to 100. What a big game of basketball that was. What a comeback from Ringwood. 13 zip down. They came back, but they could not do enough. Damon Bozeman, he nailed the game-winning free throws, was so clutch, and credit to him. He had a fantastic game. 28 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists and a block. Fantastic work from Damon Bozeman. Barker, 16 points. Young, 19, 6, 4, and 3. And Majuk, well, he was kept quiet in the second half because Matt Snow, 179-centimetre Matt Snow, went to him and defended him well, but 17 and 12 from Majuk. Still a solid outing from him. Jacob Gibson, he was the pick of the bunch for Ringwood. Only had 1 minute and 2 seconds off and managed to score 32 points, shooting the ball at 57%, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Adrian Sturt, he started like a house on fire, but then got into foul trouble. Had to battle down low as the lone big man. He had 16 points and 8 rebounds. Manny Fennell, 24 points, 5 rebounds. And Joey Miller, 16 and 10. Credit to Matt Snow, 9 points, 9 assists. Not everything he did came up on the score sheet, and you can see Matt Fennell, Matt Snow, and Sean Rawson's in there as well. Talking, I think, maybe about that final play. Not much they can do about it now, but they thought they had that game as Miller went and took the potential game-winning shot. Maybe it should have gone to Jacob Gibson, but we'll never know what that result would have been. In the books, another thriller here at the Rings. It's the Frankston Blues. They take a win in the women's. They take a win in the men's, 101 to 100. Make sure you don't forget to tune in next week. As I mentioned, it's the mental health game here at Ringwood versus Bendigo on Sunday. Get on down if you can't tune in to the broadcast. It's another double header, and it's set to be an absolute thriller. Sorry, Bendigo, Ballarat on the Saturday night for the Hawks, Bendigo on the Sunday, and that is that outside the locker room game for mental health awareness and raising some funds. Make sure you can get down. But as for this week, that is all she wrote. An absolute thriller. Frankston, though, with back-to-back wins. As always, it's an absolute pleasure, and we'll see you next time here at the Rings.